Hey, subscribers! It's Ethan here.
Hi guys, it's Musicalist here. Huh? Wait, that's a little weird. No, it's the opposite of way around.
Well, this time around, we're gonna explain to you what's been going on.
Yeah, so today, me and Ethan are swapping places literally today. Usually I'm in front of the camera and Ethan's usually behind me chatting. But today's subject in particular, if you didn't already tell by the title, is actually going to be about Ethan. He's finally actually going to be talking about anime. Took him long enough, right?
Well, to be honest with you, me and MC, we've been talking about this, and since we have the recent movie coming right up, so we figured I will be taking the charge and talk about it since I know all the anime myself.
Yes. So, this discussion video, of many discussion videos to come from not just anime but cartoons and other stuff as well, we'll be talking about My Hero Academia. In terms of this recording, this is going to be one large video, but just so you know, it's going to be split up into technically two parts for recording wise. So it's going to be one whole video together, but two parts recording wise because I got some other stuff to do tonight in particular, including playing a specific certain game that came out as of this video's recording today. That has something to do with a certain bounty hunter in space.
Yup, for sure.
So, yeah. But that aside, so for this first part, not really, we're going to be talking about three things. I'll have Ethan explain, go right ahead, bud.
Okay, so what I'll be talking about today is that I'll be going over with of all each seasons that has up to 5 seasons. So I'll be going up to first season to the 5th season.
Oh, nearly forgot. We were talking about My Hero Academia. I nearly forgot to mention that.
yeah, no worries. It's in the title. If those of you are wondering, it's in the title, so you're okay.
But I forgot to mention, yes, we are talking about the popular superhero anime My Hero Academia. Sorry about that. All right, continue, buddy.
Yep. So right now, I'll be talking about is with each season with a short summary I can, but then I'll place an opinion on it, and then I'll say what grade it is, which is up to, this is like a school grade, okay? It's up to like F to A+, just to keep that in mind. For each of these seasons, also what I'm going to be talking about next, right after I talk about this. So, I'll be talking about that. Okay, and one more thing I forget to tell you. If those of you did not watch the anime yourselves, I would jump out and wait until I talk about my favorite kid or whatever it comes up. So.
What Ethan's trying to say is, spoiler warning. So whenever you hear this sound, that means there's a spoiler warning coming our way. This first one in particular will contain some pretty big spoilers for My Hero Academia. So if you haven't, like Ethan said, if you haven't finished watching the season, I would just jump out right now for your sake, and then come back after at a certain specific part. If you don't mind character spoilers, then that's the safest section I would say that you want to jump to. There will be some spoilers there too, but I think they'll be less prominent than this.
Exactly. So I will say this though, just be warned, okay? If you want it not to be spoiled, or while you're watching it or about to watch it, I would skip out if I were you.
Yeah, just to warn you. Alright, the next thing you're going to talk about.
Okay, after that, I'll be talking about the opening themes, but there is one little catch.
Unfortunately, for copyright reasons, meaning if you can't show you the openings themselves because copyright strikes imminent. So, to save us the trouble of having to not go through that, I'll leave links in the description below to every single My Hero Academia opening so you guys can watch along have the opening that we're talking about as well as the original one side by side. So as we're discussing these you guys can definitely. So even we'll just be probably describing them basically based on what he's technically seen for these. Unfortunately, I wish we could show the actual opening, but I'd rather not risk getting a copyright strike from Foundation or Teal. So sorry.
Yeah, so I might have to do something different, of course. But for right now, what I can do this, though. I can put up a name of the opening or something like that, and then you guys can check it out, and I'll put a grade on it. But there's a thing, though, I might have to do. I want to just make sure I review myself with each of these themes while as I talk, because if I don't do it, then... Well, I know several things, but I just gotta remind myself of a couple others, because it's been a while I hear the others, but I would do this. I would just cut myself a few seconds, and I'll come back and say what grade it is, so, for that particular.
Yeah, for that particular pie. Obviously, chop that out for Ethan, so that way it doesn't, get caught in the background, but, yeah, if Ethan needs to remind himself of a theme, I'll chop it out for sure. Ethan still has pretty much Season 5's flesh in his mind, but for Season 1 through 4, it's been a while.
Yeah, I know a couple others, but I just need to remind myself to be safe. So...
yeah, there's that. And then, the third one.
The final thing for, just to warn you, we're going to probably be doing 2 parts of the discussion, by the way. Just to warn you. And the last thing I'll be talking about in this video, before the part 2, would be my favorite characters. Like, for the whole actual anime.
Indeed. So yeah, that will be the final thing we talk about. That will also go a little bit more into spoiled territory, but it's a little less prominent because most of the characters that Ethan likes pretty much main characters that you see in the anime anyways.
Except for one character, or maybe a few, more likely.
Yeah, so there's that. Now for when we do the second part, which will be part of this video together, but when we do the second part of this video, why don't you real quick explain what's going to be in that?
Okay, yeah. So I'll take care of the next thing first. I'll be talking about my favorite moments in the anime. So I'm only going to be able to do is top 3. I can't do more than 3. So I'll do top 3 for this time around. But let's just say, if you're wondering, what's my moments you're talking about? I'm talking about what's my favorite moments when you see the actual anime seasons. Doesn't include movies, so you know.
Yeah, so there's that. So yeah, top 3 anime moments from the anime season themselves. No movies included.
Yep, exactly.
Alright, next one.
And the next day I'll be talking about my favorite movies. One of my movies for the My Hero Academia movies. There's only 2, unfortunately. So that one is gonna be obvious.
Yeah. So and just so you guys know, as of this video's recording, as of this video's coming out, we haven't not seen the third one yet, so we don't exactly know what our opinion is on all that. And just so you know, we'll briefly only be talking about what Ethan likes, his favorite movie. You can only get. Let's make it a game. Which one do you think is Ethan's favorite? Do you think it's My Hero Academia 2 Heroes, or what's the other one?
Heroes Rising.
Or My Hero Academia Heroes Rising. Which one do you think is his favorite? Let us know in the comments below. Yeah, we'll briefly be talking about that. We're not going to go too deep into spoiler territory for this one. We're going to save that probably for another video where we'll talk about My Hero Academia overall after we've seen all 3.
Yeah. So say for example, what he meant to say is after we watch My Hero Academia World Heroes Missions, then we will be doing that, is what he meant to say.
Exactly. So we will go over that then. That won't also be part of our eventual discussion video we do on World Mission. That will not be part of it as well. That's going to be a totally separate video just on World Mission. We're talking like a whole video discussing all 3 movies together.
Yeah, we're talking about this is before the recent movie coming out. So as of the recording, this is before the next My Hero Academia movie's coming.
Yep. And then the last thing.
Well, two last things, actually. The next one will be my prediction of the upcoming movie, which, for example, I'm going to be talking about my speculation and prediction of what's going to happen. So, I could be wrong or right, but we'll see. Just remember that.
And, again, this will probably go into spoiler territory, so I would skip over this section if you're spoilers. But only in particular for Season 5.
Because I might be talking about something that's either from manga or even from the 5th season in general. So, manga also can be a spoiler to you, too.
Yeah, so just, if you're very sensitive on that, I would probably skip over that section just to be safe.
Yep, and the last thing I'll be talking about, my overall opinion of the whole anime. Just so you know.
Yes. So that is pretty much everything we have to discuss for this video. Of course, like I said, this whole thing is going to be one video together, but we'll have to split this up into 2 parts technically because, well, I got some other stuff to do tonight, like I said.
Yeah, we'll make sure we get these videos out before the actual movie comes out, because we were going to have a discussion before My Hero Academia Rules Heroes Mission. So we're trying to get this out before the movie starts.
Yes. Hopefully by this time when we finish recording this first part, we'll probably have recorded it. We're gonna try to get it done this weekend, but I have some other stuff to do, like I said. Hopefully this Sunday we can get it finished, but no promises. But that being said, without any further delay, I'm gonna leave the whole floor to Ethan and to talk about the first 3 things for part 1. So, go ahead, buddy. The floor's all yours.
Alright, so, first things first, before I do, how about I'll hit the little music while I'm at it? Just let the music roll as I talk, so you guys aren't bored, so.
Oh, that's right. Since we can't play any My Hero Academia music, of course, I'll put on some, how does Fire Emblem feel for the mood?
Oh, that's fine, yeah, just maybe put up, just put some Fire Emblem.
Alright. Okay, there you guys go. Alright, have fun, you guys. I'll be right back.
Alright, so right now, we're going to be discussing we're going to go over with the 5 seasons. So, to be prepared, I'll be talking over to first to 5th season, so you know. Okay, so, we'll hit up to the first season first, so get your ears open, and if I were you, just repeat. If I were you, I would skip to this particular timestamp if you can, if you don't want any spoilers. So, alright, so right now, those of you are already ready for hearing my spoilers and everything, or recaps and everything, alright, here you go. I am gonna start by talking about the first season right now. So, just be prepared. It's just gonna be a short summarize. I ain't gonna do the whole summarizing. I'm just gonna do shorter bits of it so you guys know what I'm talking about. And just remember, after I talk about what the summary is, then I'll put like a grade right next to where I'm at, of course. It could be right here, or it could be right there. You'll see where it's at the screen. So, anyway, alright, we're gonna start up is Season 1, right on the top of that screen. So get ready. Let's begin. Alright, so, it says, as mentioned, Midoriya is a main protagonist of the story. In the first season, it was revealed that despite his parents having quirks, Midoriya is pretty much normal. This broke in him as he wanted to be like Japan's greatest hero, All Might. So basically, what we're talking about is, those of you who know who All Might is, he's actually the pro hero, number 1 pro hero for the anime. So, technically, he's like Superman from DC, but in the anime, okay? So just keep this in mind. So, that's who All Might is. And he has a quirk called One for All. Then it can actually pass on to the next generations. Who doesn't have quirks, or doesn't have that kind of quirk, can be passed on from the civic user. So, Alright, so what I'm gonna talk about next is... Okay, so let me talk about this first, okay? Alright, so before Midoriya was actually going over 10 to like some kind of a training course or actually tryout course to actually be in UA High, which is all about like in school for heroes trying to learn to be a pro heroes. So yeah, okay. Before that, Izuku Midoriya, let's say he already has no quirk at the time, okay? So, if you're wondering how did he get that quirk, I'll tell you how he get that quirk. He got the quirk by, like, let's just say All Might was there, and he gave Deku, I mean, having some kind of, like, a little hair that's like my hair, of course. And then guess what he did? He ate it, and then he swallowed it, and guess what happened? He got that quirk. So that's what One For All is. One For All is like your strength, so that's how it happened. And then while he got that quirk, he went over to this tryouts, and then lots of these students were trying out too. They were originally from middle school or before becoming heroes. They're doing these test outs for becoming a hero, okay? So what happens is Midoriya was using some kind of a move called Detroit Smash on that huge giant robot that's like Godzilla size. And this guy says that you're not supposed to punch it, you're not supposed to interfere with it, because he is unstoppable. So, but Midoriya actually punched that robot into pieces with that powerful quirk. And I hate to break it to you, but his arm looks broken. So it's like all the bruise over his fist, all of his arm. But after that, he had to end up going over to the nurse, get fixed, and then he has to be careful using his quirk. At the time, he didn't know how to use the quirk. He thought that it's gonna be okay using that full much power right after he did his training with All Might. So, and then of course after that, he was able to complete the UA High, but he was the only one of all people who didn't complete until something happens. He was able to attend because of it. So, and also he's been saved by the girl, or actually saved the girl named Bako Ruka. So, yeah. And after that, All Might become his mentor for Midoriya. So you already know that. Okay, that's all for Season 1. Alright, so if those of you are wondering, what's my grade? Alright, there it is right here next to me right here. There it is. Get ready. My grade is C-. So if you're wondering, why is it C-? Well, I'll explain to you in a minute. But let's just say, though, in my own opinion, that's good for an adaptation story. I understand that. But the thing is, it was kind of a bit not as best as the others, you know? It just didn't look as good, as interesting as most other seasons, of course. But I do understand this is the adaptation story. But at the same time, it's not the best either. So, I'll say, it's not the most adapted story not the most interesting or the best parts of the season. That's all I ever get to say. That's why it's in that rank. So just keep in mind, it's C-.
I'll put it right above me, so you guys can remember that.
Yup. So that's all for first season. And now I'll be talking about Season 2. So get ready. Season 2, here it comes. So, Season 2. This season focuses on a sports festival. All Might informing Midoriya, which is Izuku Midoriya, that he can only stay in hero form for 50 minutes. So basically he's talking about He's talking about All Might being a hero form, like when he goes big and strong, that kind of hero form. Which added pressure to Midoriya to get used to the quirk. Means he actually has to get used to it. In Class 1A, Midoriya's class, topped the event since the group already experienced battle from the previous season, of course. Yes, that's first season, of course. Alright, so... Okay, here we go. I know this part. Okay, so... This is the best part I can summarize to you, okay? The first part of the season 2 is basically all in sports festival, okay? It has every students came from 1B, 1A, okay? So they came from all that. So they're all competing to actually be the best of all the leagues, okay? So they're technically, this is a tournament, and to see who's the best of all heroes. So that's what happened. And the best part of it is that Shato Todoroki was actually the one who faced Zuka Midoriya. Shato Todoroki, he has the quirk of between ice and fire. So he's got red hair and a red scar there, and the white hair on the other side. So he's technically the son of Andor. Andor was actually another pro hero at the end. Andor is basically Shato Todoroki's father that has a powerful quirk, Flame. So he's got the flame quirk. And Shato Todoroki actually got the ice quirk from his mother. And his mother contracted with ice, and his father contained with fire. So he's contained with two quirks together. But he was using ice the most of the time, but then in his own mind, in that battle between Zuka and Midoriya. What happens is, he's got something in his mind, and after that, his whole body becomes the flare side. He gets all the flames from his other side, and takes Zuka Midoriya out. So those two together were fighting against each other in that tournament, and oh boy, did it look that good. Did it look very good in that battle. So after that, the winner was... I hate to break it to you folks, but Midoriya lost in that battle. He lost in that battle, I remember. So, yeah, Shato Todoroki beat Zuka Midoriya, unfortunately. I wish he won, but he didn't. Okay, so after that, we're getting to the second part of the second season. That's when Zuka Midoriya actually learned how to use a one for all from his former teacher for All Might, is Gran Trino. Gran Trino was actually the former teacher of All Might. It's like he was out his quirks and all that, but then he's teaching Zuka Midoriya through his airship. So he did that. So he's learned how to use that quirk properly. So he's learned how to use full coloring from him. Well, he learned it from himself, technically. But he learned it from him because he has to learn how to use his quirk properly and lower down the power. If you go all the way up, your body's gonna break because your body can't even take all the tons of hits. You punch, you blast, all that jazz. So, yeah. And then after that, let's say the best part of it is, next one is the most villain that just came in and just destroys all of its citizens, and he called himself the Hero Killer. And his name is Stain. That guy, oh boy, his quirk is just, how do I explain? The quirk he does is, wherever there's a blood on it, if someone else's blood, he licks that blade, and then with the blood, and then that person becomes paralyzed. So technically, whenever you lick someone else's blood, technically that opponent will get paralyzed. And that's why he called himself the Hero Killer. So, what happens is Taita actually had to go face against him because he thought he killed his brother, so he faced all by himself, but then Midoriya comes save the day, hit him, and then Totoroki saved him. So technically, all these guys had to take down Satan altogether through this season. So then after that, now they have to learn how to not kill villains and all that. That's how it happened. So, there you have it. And that's all for the second season. Alright, if those of you are wondering what's my ranking, there it is. I give it B, just B for this time around. The reason why I give B, because, in my opinion, that particular was actually the most interesting adaptation, and that's what I'm saying, most interesting adaptation to how Zuko Midoriya was able to use his quirk properly, and you learn how to use full cowing and all against the most villainy, the most villain that took him down against these three heroes. So I thought that was interesting. That's why I give that ranking right here. So just remember, that goes way up to the top, right over there. So that goes where I'm at. Okay, so alright, next we're going to be talking about is Season 3. So get ready, Season 3 is coming! Okay, so what we have here, it says Class 1A trained for the summer break in the woods with Class 1B. While training, Tarma sent his group to attack the students with the goal of kidnapping Bakugo. Midoriya and the others were able to save all the others except for Bakugo. With that, Shato, Karashima, Midoriya, and Momo went on a mission to save their friend, so named Bakugo. And Tarma's team, or the League of Villains, wanted to recruit Bakugo, but he did not join them. It was also revealed that All For One was behind. The League of Villains and All Might did not have second thoughts in fighting him to save Bakugo. So, what happens is that Bakugo got captured while they're in the camp in all the woods while they're going for summer break and all that. Then after that, Bakugo was captured by those League of Villains. And so after that, All Might and his group actually go save Bakugo from the League of Villains. So after that, the best part in that season is when All For One and All Might, they face each other in battle. So they both fought each other right in the end. Boy, did it look that good. So, okay, if you want to know what happened towards the end of that battle, let's just say that All Might was using the most powerful move he ever done in his whole life, in his hero career. Let's say he had to use that power that goes like this. United States of Smash! That's the move that he used. United States of Smash. That is contained from that predecessor, that who actually had that quirk that gives him the power to pull him out of here and actually save the whole city. So, and then of course after that, I hate to bring it to you folks, but All Might had to retire. So he had to retire because he's hurt really bad. So All Might had to retire, so fortunately for All Might, he's not becoming a hero anymore. So I wish he could stay around, but due to his health condition, he cannot do any more hero work, so he had to retire. So you know. Okay, last thing before we get to the fourth season. The students took their provisional hero exam. They were also given a chance to do a work study, wherein the show introduced the big three, Maru, Handra, and Amanaki. Tagara was then revealed to be one of the candidates who should get All Might's quirk. So basically, they're saying that he should be the one who gets the quirk before Midoriya. But it was kind of too late. All Might actually decides to give it to Midoriya because he was quirkless at the time. So, by the end of the season, another villain was introduced named Overall. So, Overall was technically the 4th season's book. So, yeah. Alright, that's all for 3rd season. I'm going to give this season, actually, an A. An A. I like that season. The reason why I'm giving the number because, the letter, because that one was actually pretty interesting. Oh, that battle between All Might versus the top of the league of the villains. And Bakugo was almost this close to being a villain. This would shock us all if he was a villain. He would have been a good villain, to be honest with you. But I know a lot of you are like, no, you said, calm yourself down. It's just my opinion, for crying out loud. For crying out loud. I'm just kidding around. I know. A lot of you are just so mad because I said Bakugo could have been a good villain. Alright, enough of jokes, okay? Enough of the jokes. Alright, so... yeah, so pretty much, that was a pretty interesting season. It was pretty emotional too, so you guys know. That's why I put that right there. Alright, so we're at 4th season, okay? The 4th season. Yep, we're in the 4th season. Now, in the recap, so all 4th season is the first part focused on Overall and his plans to eliminate quirks using one bullet shot. Okay, so technically, Overall was actually using some kind of bullet that actually just, whenever someone gets hit by one, unfortunately, that quirk is gonna be, you're out. No more quirks, man. You're quirkless, like Deku was before, man. That's what's gonna happen there, okay? So, then, after that, the heroes discovered that Overall was using a little girl named Uri to create these bullets. Poor little girl. She was kept hostage. I kind of feel bad for the little girl. She was an innocent one, too. I bet she lost her parents and all that. Oh, poor little girl. I'm so sorry for that little girl. With that, Midoriya and Madara did everything they can to save the little girl. While saving Uri was a success. Madara was shot with a bullet and lost his quirk. Okay, so technically, let's say this. All these heroes actually have gone in there to their hideout, and then Madara Togura actually had a fight against Overall, so they both fight. And then after that, Madara actually had to save the Uri, and then that little bullet got him, and unfortunately, he's quirkless. He was a good hero too. He was the best hero I know. So, it's pretty sad. And then after that, Deku actually had to face against Overall, and he stopped him there with his 100% full calorie. So that was like, what he does? He could turn himself into Super Saiyan Goku, okay? That's what happened, okay? And then how it happened? Let's say Uri was able to reverse that quirk so he doesn't get hurt and he can use all he wants because Uri was the one who can actually reverse that quirk back to him so he doesn't get hurt. That was really cool. It was pretty handy for him. So he beats Overall, and then into the season is with the 10 heroes. It changes since All Might was no longer the top hero, which we already discussed. And so Denver becomes the first pro hero that takes All Might's place. So, and then after that pretty much conclude the 5th season. Alright, that's all for the 4th season, and I'm gonna give that rating, it's actually A minus. Reason I give that much, because this is actually the first time the main character himself actually has to take all the teachings from All Might and all these other heroes that teaches him how to fight, and he uses all the lower quirks and that. So, let's just say, this is like actually something like, it was so emotional, it was so intense. I like the intensity. Boy, do you have to really feel bad for the little girl that you had to go through. And even, it was pretty much the best of all seasons for what I know so far. So, other than that, that's why it's there. Alright, move it up. Alright, the last season we're going to talk about is the 5th season. Okay, to conclude, let's say that at the beginning of the 5th season, let's say one Class A and one Class B, they had to face each other in that battle. So, what did they do? Let's say they were doing some kind of like a tournament, like each groups between each classes. So they did 4, and the other 4, and some of the other groups have Shinzo in it. Shinzo. Ooh. Are you wondering how you get into that? Let's just say you face against Deku in a 2nd season in a sports festival. So, you know, if you're wondering, how do you get that much improvement? Well, let's just say he actually had a mentor with Racerhead, who is Azawa, which is the teacher who teaches Class 1A, right? So, that's how it is. And he also has, like, some kind of quirk, and he actually uses some kind of vocal voice, and he can actually brainwash people. And he was able to do it once, but he's got a lot more stronger, a lot better since the 2nd season. And actually, I like his personality. He's actually pretty cool. Yeah, so then after that, all those groups, they face against each other. And let's say, you want to know who won that? That would be Class 1A. They won. So, boy, did they do good. So, that was pretty interesting. And then after that, let's say, after that, they were talking about League of Villains, okay? This is the League of Villains perspectives. This is their own story and all that. And let's just say we were learning about this, the Tama guy, who is actually now the lead of the League of Villains. So we learned about his background story and some of their villains' background story. So, all that. Other than that, that's all I can talk about. And let's just say, in the last episode of it, that's when it become the heroes. They actually had to just group up, and then they take down whoever comes at them. And so, let's say this. My ranking for 5th season, unfortunately, I'm going to give it C+, C+, I mean. C+. Okay, so if you're wondering, why are you giving it a little bit lower than that? Well, let's just say that, in my opinion, it was best in the first part, but then the last part of it, I think they focus on the villains too much, in my opinion. I don't mind you focus on the villains a little bit, but sometimes you gotta be not too much focusing on them, you know? I understand you're doing that, but for me, it just didn't look that special when I saw the villains. They had to do the work, you know? It's not that interesting, so that kind of made me go, it's not as best as the rest of the season, so at least the first part did pretty well, but the last part of it wasn't that good, so that's how I rank that. So other than that, that's all the seasons. Alright folks, let's just say this. Let's say we're actually going to get the 6th season, by the way. If you didn't know, we're getting the 6th season. Wow. Isn't that crazy? Can you believe it? We're getting the 6th season? But yeah, so other than that, that's all we have for all the seasons I'm talking about. Alright, next, I'll be talking about the opening themes, so yeah. I'll be talking about the openings mostly. So you know. Alright, so what we're going to talk about is that we have here that I'm going to be talking about the first opening in the first season that has alright, this is the same thing. It has a ranking over here, and there's a title up there, what that theme is. Other than that, I'm going to do is go over to those opening themes. But unfortunately, as we discussed, unfortunately we can't even pull up a theme since we found out. So I might have to do it a different way, unfortunately. So, I'm going to do is this. I'm going to talk about what it is, and then I'll tell you what the theme it is. So get ready. So, right now, I'll be going over with that. Alright, the first thing we're talking about is first we're going to talk about is the day, which is the first theme, opening theme. And then after I listen to the first one, let's just say in that one, let's say it was pretty good. But the ranking I have here is actually B. I give it a B. Because I like that theme that actually sounds like, it actually can sound like, it just feels like you're actually becoming a hero and all that. So, yeah, that was pretty interesting, that theme. And it's like you sound like you're actually becoming a hero and all that. That's what that is. Yup. Yeah, so that's what that is. And then in seconds, yeah, so.
Sorry about that, folks. I have to talk to Easy Emily for a second. How you doing there, bud?
Right now, we're actually on to the openings right now.
Nice.
And unfortunately, we're like 42 minutes. Because I had to go over a lot of things in the seasons.
Sheesh.
Yep, you tell me, man. Yep, and then we got here, it says, peace sign. Let's just say, the peace sign. Okay, just give me a second, folks, I need to listen to it. But just so you know, this will be censored. Okay, so back to what we're discussing. Sorry about that, we had to censor a little bit because I gotta remind myself, like MC said earlier. Alright, so for this one, I remember, after I listened to it, I actually give this one a C, just a C for this one. But let's just say I used to wasn't a huge fan of it at first, because it was gonna be just so bad. But after I listened to the whole thing, sounds pretty good. It sounds not that bad, but it's not the best, but it's pretty good. So, I'll say it goes, oh, 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 oh. And then let's say they have all these groups of Class 1A, and they all fight against each other and all that. This actually explains, how the sports festival went. So, that's why it's there. So I give that one a C. C for this one. So it goes right up there. So, there we go. And the second part of the song, it's called Shoya and Noporia, or whatever you call it. It's up there. But that one, I actually give this one B+, because I like the raises you up. It raises your motivation to become a hero and all that. I like how that raises up and all that. So that's why it's up there. It's B. So it's B+ for that one. Pretty good. It's the first theme. All right, next one. Fortunately, I'm gonna have to censor the two, so that one has to be censored. Okay, all right, I listened to that one already. Fortunately, I'm gonna have to give this one I listened to a D+. Let's be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of rap parts in that theme. I usually don't hate raps that much, but I wasn't a huge fan of some kind of raps usually. No worries, I like some raps, but this kind of rapping one, it just didn't sound that good. I just don't know how to explain it, but so other than that, It's okay. But, alright, that's all. And we'll get to second opening for third season. I also gotta to censor this one. Okay, after I listen to that one, sorry I have to censor it again. Alright, so for this one, I give this one, actually, it's a lot better than the first one, I would not lie. I give this one a C this time around. Let's say for this one, I like some tones in there. It has some hip-hops in there and all that. I'll be honest, that theme was actually not as bad as the first one. But I'll say this, though. They could have done much better, so yeah, that's why I give that rating. Alright, now we're on to the fourth season of the two each. So I remember this one, so I got nothing to worry about. So for this one, in my own opinion, I'll be honest, I give this one an A-. An A-. Let's just say, for that one, oh boy, did it sound pretty good when at first. Let's say I like some of the rock tones in there and all that vocals in there. Those vocals are just rises you up pretty well. It's like how that, and this is when it explains about Maguro Takura, which is part of the side hero with Deku, you know. I like all that. Other than that, the next part of the theme that goes for his fourth season, I also have to censor this one. So get ready. I'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, that's all, folks. After I listen to that one, I actually have to give this one. Surprisingly, a B-. I know it's inconvenience, but for this one, I like some top tones to rhythms that it just catches you on pretty well with this one. But I did like how they explains the last part of the season. So what it is, I like it. It's not that bad. So we have the fifth one, and yeah, for that one, I might have to censor that one because it's hard for me to remember that one. Okay, all right, that's all, folks. I had to cut that part out. All right, so for this one, I give number one, which is the one that's in the first song of the fifth season. I give this one a C+. That one was actually not that bad. It's actually good compared to the rest of the others. I like some hip hops and some Japanese rock music and all that. It was pretty nice. It explains like a between class 1B, class 1A. That was pretty nice. So that's why I put it there. And the second one, of course, I remember this one particularly. So for this one, I give this one an A+. Let's just say I like that. I like the lyrics, explains it pretty well in the last part of it, and I like some lyrics does make sense, and it just rises you up. It just makes you like you want to listen to it more. You know, it just makes you like you want to listen to it a lot. That one's like really great compared to the rest of this. So I'll be honest, boy, does it sound great. All right. Other than that, that's all for the opening themes. Alright, folks, we'll get to last thing, my favorite characters. Yeah, so the thing is, we had to cut a little bit parts of it, so we'll get to is the last part of the whole thing right here will be my favorite characters of all anime. So we'll go by the numbers, like the top 10 heroes. So, just to warn you though, some characters might contain spoilers, so I might want to skip on some of the characters I'll mention, but for now, it's gonna be okay now. Alright, so, we got to number 10, okay? Number 10 goes to the killer hero himself. Stain. The reason why he's in that number, well, let's just say he's actually pretty cool. I liked him. He's awesome with Assassin. I even liked his quirk. His personality really does fit pretty well in this anime. He would have been my favorite villains if he didn't die in the second season. So, yeah, I'll be honest. It was just didn't last that long into that season. I just can't believe it myself, but that was pretty good villain. That's why I put him at number 10. I mean, I would put a little higher, but he's really good where he's at. Alright, next number goes to, of course, I'm gonna really have to slow myself down about this. Alright, so one thing is that is a lady character that's in that number. And it goes to Cammy. Oh boy, do I like her a lot. Let's just say she has a good look and also she had a cool personality, first of all. I mean, I liked her. She's not that bad and she's really nice. So, yeah, it is awesome. It is awesome that she's in that number. And number 8, of course, right now it's in number 8. Number 8, I'm going to give it to... I'll give you hints. I'll give you hints. This character is actually the teacher of Deku, okay? Is it All Might? Is it Gran Torino? Or is it Night Eye? Let me see. Alright, that's it. I'll give it to you. It's Gran Torino. Let's just say I like about Gran Torino, he's in that number, because I liked how he teach Midoriya how to use his quirk, you know? His quirk, I'm glad he taught him about how to use his quirk properties, so he did really well teaching him, and I liked his personality. He was a great teacher, first of all. He was just a great teacher. So, that's why I give him that number for a reason. And number 7. Alright, folks. Get ready for the most shock, and in your own eyes, this will be a spoiler to you, just a warning. So, let's just say, he was originally in the second season, but then he goes to the 5th season, and he was a lot more proof since then. This goes to this character. So, get ready? Drums, please. Alright, that goes to Shinzo. That character right there. Oh, wow. Why you were so shocked? Well, let's just say his character, right after the second season, I'll be honest with you, he was the greatest improvement since the second season. He wasn't that interested in the second season, and then after that, he's got more like into that. He did much amazing. He just, wow. Can you believe it? He was much improvement. His personality was so cool. So, I'll be honest, he goes in that number. I used to not a huge fan of him. But when he got around, he got more better, and then his personality got better. His adaptation got a lot better. So, I give him that number because he became one of my favorites just for that one reason. Alright, number 6. Number 6, so get ready. Get ready for this one. Let's say, I would be honest with you. For this one, though. Woo! 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 Yeah, so for this one, I give this one to Konoshima, the Red Riot. Oh, reason why I give him that number, let's say, his quirk, he has got hardened quirk, and then also, I like how he just goes, boy, does he look amazing. He is just amazing. Wow. Wow. Can you believe it? Yeah. I can't believe it. Yeah, so for this one, that's pretty amazing. So, alright, number 5. And this one's a villain. And oh boy, does he sound interesting. For this one, I give this number 2 overall. Well, you shouldn't be too surprised. Let's just say I liked his yeah, so I'll be honest, boy, does it look great. Oh man, I just gotta say, whoo, his personality and his lines to be a villain. He should have been the best villain the whole time in this anime. So, boy, and I liked his outfit and all that. He's pretty cool, and he faced Midoriya, so that's how I liked him. All right, and number 4, I would give this one. This is the most interesting number. That one is actually a pro hero, one of the pro heroes, and I give this one to All Might. All Might. Why is he that low? Well, let's just say I got the rest of the characters are just a bit more better than him, in my opinion. So, with certain wise. But yes. Anyway, the reason why he's in that number because I liked how he was a greatest hero all time, and also he has a best. He had a symbol of peace and all that. Yes, and let's just say with him, he was amazing. So. And also, he was voiced by the voice of actor named Christopher Zabit. He was actually the voice of Vegeta. He was voice of Zoro. He's voiced of some of those characters I know. So that's why he was in there. So yeah. Number 3, I give this one. It's another hero. This one you'll be a little bit like, what is he doing here? Let's see. Number 3. I will give it to Shato Toroki. Wow, you guys are like, hey, why do you put a little higher than All Might? Well, why do you do that? Well, because I like his work. I like his personality. He's got like some past going on that just hurts me almost. His past really hurts me the most. And I'll be honest, I felt so bad for the guy. And I liked how he was just genuine to other people, you know. He was nice. He was totally nice. So, that's why he's over there. Top number 2. And let's just say, top number 2. He is actually a bit close to where my favorite is. And he's for that reason, so. Number 2, he was in 6th season. Well, more focusedly most in the 6th season. It's not 6th season. 4th season, I meant to say. Let's just say this one, I give it to Maro Takora. Maro Takora, what is he close? Well, let's just be honest here. He was actually close by this one character I have a number 1. And also, let's say, I liked how he does so well in the 4th season. He saved that one little girl that he had to sacrifice himself for that one little girl. Now that's a kind of hero he is. And his quirk was just spots on, man. He spots on every little battle he had. Boy, he had to go through tough battles like this in the 4th season. So that's why he was my top number 2. And number 1, this is the most obvious thing you guys know. That I have logos, and those who follow me on Twitter and all that, you should know who that is. And number 1 goes to Zuka Midoriya Deku. Okay, so the reason why he was in number 1, well, I liked his personality, and he was amazing and all that. He was just so cool. So, of course, I liked how he had a motivation to become a hero, and I liked all what he is. So, that's why he was my top number 1. So, before I get to my least favorite character, but I'll give it an honor mention. I forget to mention who I liked. She is part of my favorites. Bekaruka. Let's just say I loved her personality. She's cute. I'll be honest. Does she look that adorable when it comes to like saving Deku, and her quirk was just amazing and all that. So other than that, she was honorable mentions. But let's get to the final discussion before I end it in this part. My least favorite character the whole time in the anime had to be Medina, what you call him? he's a purple juice person. Reason why he was my least favorite character. Don't get me started, folks. Let's not get started here. I'd rather not say this in this channel, but let's just say this. He's a pervert. That's all I ever can say. I can't say any more than that. I just don't want to say any more. I don't know what to say, guys. I'm sorry. He's just my least favorite character. Oh, man. yeah, so other than that, alright, folks. That's all for the first part of the whole discussion.
Yep. So we should be going into the second part right about... Whoa. Alright, part 2 of the recording. I told you guys we'd get it done this week. Sorry if Ethan's in a little bit of different clothing than usual. We're recording this in the morning because I got a show at the house a little bit earlier than expected, a little bit later today. So me and Ethan decided to get this done early, so that way we can focus on getting the rest of my room clean before we have to go.
Yeah.
So yeah. But that being said, Ethan's ready to talk about the last bit that he needs. We got 4 different subjects, if I'm correct, left to cover.
Yeah, I have several subjects left, actually. Yeah. If I could just bring it up for a second. Yep. Okay, I only got several of them left right here.
Alright.
As I mentioned.
Alright, briefly mention the ones that you have left.
I have is my favorite moments from the anime, which is the Civic Seasons, just to keep that in mind. Doesn't include movies. My favorite movie, which is out of the 2 movies, as we know.
And like I said before, in case you didn't hear earlier, we'll talk about the movies as a whole much later in a separate video.
Mm-hmm. And then my prediction for the upcoming movie, which means like I'm predicting what's gonna happen with World's Heroes missions.
And just a warning on that one, Ethan might go a little bit into spoiler territory for season 5, so just a warning.
And also from the manga as well.
So yeah, just a small warning to if you're reading either reading or watching the anime, get out of there. I would skip over that section if I were you.
Oh yeah. And lastly, my overall opinion about the anime, or I recommend it. That's basically the same thing.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So, yeah. All right, Ethan, I'm gonna let you do your thing and finish off this recording. Have fun.
All right, I guess I'll switch places as usual. All right, back to where we're at. All right, so as I mentioned, okay, so we're at right now is Right, give me a second. Alright, there we go. Alright, so as I mentioned, we're on to the next part of this recording. We're at my favorite moments of the anime. So, what I'm going to talk about is, goes up to top 3 favorite moments. Because I want to briefly talk about several of them I know. I got several others, but I prefer just not talk about too many of them. So I'll talk about what are like my favorites are the best. If those of you recognize those moments, comment below and let me know about it. Well, let me know about it. And also, I would just comment about what's your favorite moments as well if you want to. It's up to you. Alright, so let's get to top number 3. Oh, and one more thing I forget to do. Let's play some music while we do it. Okay, here we go. would be All Might punches. Oh wait, I forget. Spoiler territory. Just a heads up. Okay, here we go. Let me try this again. Top number 3 would be All Might punches All for One with United States of Smash, which takes place from Season 3. Okay, so what I'm going to be talking about is, the reason why I talk about this moment, well, let's just say that it carries on from the predecessor from before All Might, actually just gives him the power to actually KO this villain. And oh boy, did it look so epic. It also makes our hearts even more encouraging to be a hero. And this is what the symbol of peace is. When All Might just goes like this. United States of Smash! Oh boy, did he just go out like crazy. I bet you in Japanese it's going to be the same thing, except in different words. But I'm going to be honest, that reason why I felt that way, again, that's because it felt so emotional, felt so encouraging. It just encourages people to be a hero. That's what I like about that moment, and oh boy, did that good. Alright, so, besides that, let's get to the next part. Alright, the next part would be top number 2. My favorite moments of all time in that anime. I would say, those of you are going to be like, you're going to think I'm obvious, but I'll go right ahead and say it. One of my other favorite moments is when Deku goes for 5% Detroit Smash on stage. So basically what I'm talking about is when Deku goes to his full KOing, when he goes face against Stain when Taita is in trouble. Taita is revenging on him because his brother was killed. So, of course though, Taita wanted to face against Stain himself, which is he's a hero killer in that season. And this is from season 2, by the way. So, yes, of course, what I know so far, yeah, all of that is just so intense when it comes to that. And I'm gonna say, when Deku goes for the blow against Stain, so he had to go running right towards him because of his new training from full KOing. So he's got his new training just goes right in at him, and then he goes right back at him. He goes, Stain's like, oh, he's gone. No. And then Deku's like, 5% Detroit Smash! Boy, didn't look that awesome. Boy, his new training really paid off. I'm gonna be honest. That moment was just, Tastes like you're eating like a pancakes with butter. Didn't look that amazing when he punches that villain. Woo, didn't look that good. That's why I say that is one of my favorite moments of what I remember from this season, for second season. That was pretty amazing. Pretty epic. So, yeah. But this is not the most epic one that I've seen full anime. So get ready. My top number 1. Alright, folks. If I were you, get ready for top number 1. Put your drums for it. Ready? Drums, please. Okay. I say top number 1. I give it to Deku goes full KOing 100% on overall, and he finishes the fight. So basically what I'm talking about is, well, I don't know, I should show a picture, copyrights and stuff, but I might go ahead and maybe I can throw it out for you, if I can, just be safe. But if I can't, you know that it's not going to show up. But if that doesn't work, there's always a link to it. There's a link maybe to what the reminder of that episode is. But anyway, yeah. So, what I could tell, oh boy, did it look so amazing. this is actually the best main focus for Deku right against the main villain in the 4th season. And so, what happens is that when Deku goes with Uri, which is who got captured by hostage from him, overall I mean. So what happens is, when Deku faces against overall, so guess what he did? He was trying to full cowering 100%, and then Uri just had to use her quirk to reverse his quirk. And so she got on his back, and Deku just actually goes like, full cowering 100%. So he felt like he could do 100%, and look at him. He turns out to be like a Super Saiyan Goku. That's a reference to Universal. Boy, did look amazing. And while he fights against overall, and guess what happened? There's a few moments I do like about that scene, because Deku had the best main focus almost the whole anime that I know. And so what he did, he goes all those punches, he goes, that matters to everybody! And then all these punches go right at him. All those punches, just like Saitama from One Punch Man. And then after that, he goes for the blow. And he goes, that's my 1P! And then he finishes off the fight. Boy, did look that epic. And even that music in that fight was just so epic. That actually fits the fight. It just fits the fight. So, I gotta say, that just looks so awesome to my own favorite moments. So, yeah, that's why it's my top number 1. If you were curious. Alright, that's all for my favorite moments. So, alright, after that, we're all gonna be talking about is my favorite movie of all time so far. Before World's Heroes Missions, as it's recording. So if those of you are wondering, hey, it just came out already. Well, I told you, this is the recording before the World's Heroes Missions. So, again, like MC says, we're going to be talking about that in another time. Just so you know. But for this particularly, this is just before the movie I just told you. Okay, so, my favorite movie the whole time, for so far, all these 2 movies. Alright, folks. Take a guess which one it is. It's either between 2 Heroes or Heroes Rising. I'll give you up to 10 seconds to think and guess if I throw it out at you. Time's up! Okay, if those of you are wondering, hey, is it 2 Heroes? I'm gonna be honest. Wrong. That one was really good, but except, I actually think that one could have been much better, if I'm being honest. But if you guess Heroes Rising, you're on the ball game. Let's just say, that one is actually the better of the 2 movies. Because, Class 1A actually took all the groups to go together in the one island to save the citizens in that island. That's part of their trip mission. So, I'll be honest, that movie was actually giving up the message to any superhero fans out there that would understand this movie. And of course though, that's pretty cool when Bucky villain definitely give against one powerful villain. But of course, so I better not talk too much about it. I'm trying to stay off the sport territory on this one. So, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Did that movie look pretty amazing? That's why I say that was my favorite movie the whole time. And of course, MC already saw it too, so he can tell you how much the good movie was. So, yeah, I gotta say, that's why Heroes Rising so far was my favorite so far. But who knows? Can the World Heroes Mission top that? Or maybe not. We'll just find out in the next video as I talk about it. Okay, so after that, I'm going to talk about my prediction of upcoming movie. Okay, so if I were you folks, again, I'll repeat this again. If those of you who don't want to hear it, some spoilers, I would jump out before the overall opinions of the anime.
Yeah, I'll leave a timestamp right about now. It's right below Ethan, so click to that part of the video to skip over that part.
Okay.
Alright, you got it? Alright, guys, that was your last warning.
Yup. So that's it. This is your warning. I am going to be starting talking about the spoiler territory. If those of you who don't mind it, hey, good for you. For those of you who don't want to, I would just make sure you jump out right ahead of time before it's too late. So now, I'm going to start it, okay? So, my prediction of the movie so far for when I saw the trailer, let's say Deku, Bakugo, and Shato Todoroki, they're wearing some costumes that they're on their own missions. And they were at the final season when, let's say that the few last episodes for the, obviously I already said the first part. So, what happens is that they're in the Endeavor's agencies, which is part of the the hero company, you can put it that way. But, right now, let's just say this. Oh boy. I'll just say this. This is like their own hero mission, alright? But with Deku, though, this is the thing that I gotta talk about. So, if those of you are wondering, hey, how did Deku get his own other quirk? Is he turn out to be like another avatar? No, he's not. He just got it out of nowhere, okay? From all these how would I put this? They're like before Deku and All Might and the other ones. So let's just say, remember that guy who had the glasses and he's got the black whip? Okay, so what he was saying is Deku was actually learning how to use it, and he's giving the vices, and in the future, Deku's gonna unlock more quirks in the future besides the black whip. Okay? Because all these predecessors had those quirks. That's because that's part of One For All quirk. Okay? So, Black Whip is his other quirk he's gonna learn by the time in the Black Whip he did. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. He's gonna be doing it like Spider-Man. Just using it as, like, go cross around with the Black Whip. Like around the buildings, just like Spider-Man does. Of course. Yeah, so, of course, my upcoming guess of the movie, it will be Deku might learn a bit more of his own quirk while he's at the movie. But this just don't quote me on this one, but this one could be a non-canon movie. Or it could be it actually is canon, but we just don't know about it. But maybe the creator did say it isn't canon, so again, put a comment down below if you think it's canon or not. I would recommend just comment it just in case. So, right now, I'll say this. Let's just say that this is going to be more focus on these three main heroes that are together, like Deku, Shato Todoroki, and Bakugo. Which turns out Bakugo has gotten better since the last few seasons, even if he was a jerk back then. Whatever, man. So I'm gonna predict this. The three main heroes are gonna be actually acting like the pro heroes for once. And they learn all from Endeavor, the pro hero, the one himself. So that's my upcoming prediction for the movie. So you know. Alright, folks. Here we are. I'm out.
Alright, right, so it's time for us to wrap up this video with Ethan's overall opinion about the anime. Alright, buddy, what do you think?
Alright, we're on to this. I'm gonna conclude the video. Let's say that overall for a whole anime, my opinion, I'm gonna give it up to 9 out of 10. Whoa, didn't look that good. Well, again, though, there are some flaws, I will admit that much. If it weren't for a lot of those flaws, I would have given it a perfect score, but unfortunately I had to decrease the score because of that. So, yeah, so for right now, I give it a that high because, well, this is really good for, like, superhero fans, or even Marvel or DC fans, but if those of you are like, no it's not, I'm like, well, if you are superhero fans, you might like this one yourselves, even if it doesn't fit in your taste. But come on, My Hero Academia is actually turned out to be like one of the good aspiration animes that came to all these people that started watching it, like newbies right after when Naruto, Dragon Ball, One Piece, Bleach, wherever those older animes came out. Okay, so there's why I would say this. I would actually recommend to anyone who is a superhero fan, I just mentioned earlier, and non-anime watchers. Like, for the people who didn't watch anime before, this is good for them because this is gonna give them an idea like how the anime is gonna start. Okay, so maybe some just don't want to hear it from Japanese. They can always just watch it in English. They'll just understand it from when Deku get his own, let's say, his written story in there before you actually dove into what's going on after the first season. So, and also, originally, Dragon Ball was originally my favorite the whole time, but then this anime tops it for some strange reason. So, I don't know. I just kind of felt like Dragon Ball is kind of overrated anime to me. But My Hero Academia, it's not that overrated as Dragon Ball. I mean, yes, it's popular now, but it just doesn't mean it's actually like too overrated for this point. Who knows? Maybe in the future it might. We don't know. But yeah.
Indeed. Alright, well thank you again buddy for this awesome 100% great discussion video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video too. Ethan and I have been wanting to do something like this for a while for the channel, and we have lots more of these to come.
Yep.
Like for example, our next big discussion video like this is actually going to be headed back to games, and we will be discussing about the Pokemon series, and that one should be in 2 parts. The first part we will talk about the main series games and our influence on us. The second part we'll be talking about the spin-offs. Now we won't be talking about either the trading card game or the anime. The trading card game we probably won't talk about at all, but the anime me and Ethan will save for a totally separate video once he and I have caught up to all the missing seasons.
Yeah, so again though, we're probably gonna have to do is make sure we don't talk too much in this discussion because we had to do our best to cut ourselves down for the first part, so.
Yeah. Now, again, Pokemon games are very spoiler heavy, I will be honest, but if you still want to go in knowing nothing, then you can be rest assured that me and Ethan will mainly be talking about the gameplay more so than the story, since the Pokemon games don't tend to be super story heavy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so again though, this discussion is probably to the point like we gotta be talking about this stuff like in an update video for another time. So after this discussion, okay, just a reminder about this. This is before the My Hero Academia movie, okay? So once we watch the movie, we'll be talking about our review and discussion and stuff. Let's just say it will be for another time for all these canons and stuff I just mentioned to you. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, another discussion we'll be doing is after we've watched all 3 movies, me and Ethan will sit back down, separate from our talk about discussion about the My Hero Academia movie in general that's coming up. We will sit down and talk about all 3 movies and what we think about.
Yep.
And then finally, the last discussion I know for sure that we have planned is this one's going to be a lot closer to launch, but Splatoon. So me and Ethan have 2 videos planned for Splatoon. One, we plan to redo our pros and cons since Splatoon 2 is over, since back in the day, we did it near the beginning of the game's launch. Now that the game is officially over, me and Ethan can talk talk a little bit more about how Splatoon 2, in our opinion, went, the pros and cons of that one. And I'm going to tell you right now, for those who love the game, me and Ethan are probably going to be a lot more harsher than usual. So I would definitely recommend not watching that one.
Right.
And then we'll do an overall Splatoon discussion, discussing 1 and 2, and what we think could be good for the series as well as our favorite characters, the story, the gameplay, play across both games, and then pretty much the rest of the Splatoon series, as well as our predictions going forward for Splatoon 3, depending on how much information we get before Splatoon 3 launch.
Indeed.
Yeah, those are our 3 discussions we have planned. My Hero Academia coming up, Pokemon, and then Splatoon much later. Of course, we have other ones planned. I'm pretty sure in the future, even outside of those 3. But those are the 3 I can for sure say with confidence we have plans to discuss.
Yeah.
Alright guys, that is all for now. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's really appreciated. Please leave a comment down below and tell us what you think of your opinions about My Hero Academia. And then please like and subscribe to us as well. We have plenty of other videos here on this channel. We put out as much as we can. And also please check out our sister channel, the Sassy Sisters, for some other stuff as well. So yeah. Okay. I'll let Ethan close out this video since he's in front.
Okay, folks. I'll just let you know this. I'll say this. This is... Alright, folks. There's what I'm gonna say. This is Ethan. Signing out.
And this is yours truly, Musical, signing out. And y'all have a nice...
gaming day. And also watching day.
See ya.